found in Judges 14. The story of Samson and his Philistine wife. Of course, the blue-eyed and fair Philistine, Greek Caucasian women were very attractive to the kinky black-haired and turd-colored Hebrew goat thieves. The Philistines, after whom the country of Palestine is named, were the sea peoples who had come from the back sea region and from the Greek Isles. They were fair, complected, heroically statured, intelligent, beautifully proportioned, unbeatable warriors, workers in iron, and wealthy from trade. So, of course, the rubbery-lipped, buzzard-beaked, kinky-haired, stinking inbred Jews hated them. Samson saw a white woman that he liked and wanted to marry. This story claims that the Yahweh God had made Samson such a strong super Jew that he tore a lion apart with his bare hands. Later, as he walked past the carcass, he saw the honeybees had made a hive inside the dead lion. Using this as the basis for an impossible riddle, Samson bet 30 of his new wives' relatives that they couldn't guess his riddle. The riddle was impossible for anyone to guess, which is why Samson, being the crafty Hebrew that he was, tried to swindle his new relatives out of their wealth with his scam. This is one of the traditional swindling methods of the Jews, to make bets that only they can win. Samson bet the 30 relatives that if they could guess the riddle within the 7 days of the wedding celebrations, he would give them each a piece of fine linen and a festal robe. But if they couldn't guess the riddle, that they must give him 30 pieces of fine linen and 30 festal robes. So, like any fool who has any dealings with a Jew without knowing all of the rules, they made the bet first and then ask for the riddle second. Out of the eater came what is eaten, out of the strong came what is sweet. Judges 14:18. Since the riddle was impossible to guess and they were stumped, the Philistines had the new bride wheedle the answer out of Samson. What is sweeter than honey, and what stronger than a lion? In this way they answered the riddle, but the story has several points of interest to the Jews. Although the laws of Moses forbade intermarriage outside of the Hebrew tribes, Samson broke that law for no other reason than because he wanted to. As a result, a secret that only a Jew knew was told to a Gentile wife. She told the secret to her Gentile relatives, which caused a Jew to lose a bet. Losing the bet because of his Gentile wife, Samson owed his new relatives 30 festal robes and 30 pieces of fine linen. But did he pay the debt like an honorable man? No, he paid the debt like a thieving cutthroat Jew. Even though his new wife had told his Hebrew secret to his new relatives, isn't it the honorable thing to do to pay the debt with good nature to his grinning relatives? After all, they were all related by marriage. Samson had slept with his new wife and had partied with his new relatives. He had tried to swindle them with an impossible riddle that only he knew, and they in turn had used subterfuge to find the answer to the riddle. So in joining in the spirit of merriment at the wedding, he should have paid the debt like an honorable man and joined in the camaraderie with his new relatives. But Samson was not an honorable man. He was a Jew. Stealing other people's property and murdering them is a Jewish tradition. So Samson did what the Jewish chosen ones of God do in the full spirit of their religion. By losing money, he went nuts. Then the spirit of Yahweh seized on him. He went down to Ashkelon, killed 30 men there, took what they wore and gave the festal robes to those who had answered the riddle. Then, burning with rage, returned to his father's house. Then Samson's wife was given to the companion who had been his best man. Judges 14, verse 19 through 20. In other words, instead of buying 30 fine pieces of linen and 30 new festal robes as he had promised, he went out and murdered 30 innocent men, stole their clothes, and gave these used and bloodied and stinky garments to his relatives. No 30 new robes, no 30 new linens, just 30 second-hand robes from 30 murder victims. That's how the Jews, whom the lying rabbis claim possess a higher ethical standard, pay their debts to the Goyim. After killing 30 men and giving their dirty clothes to his new relatives as a half payment for his bet gone sour, Samson abandoned his wife, ran away in a rage, and returned to his father's house. Oi, what a hero, what a great Jew, so intelligent, he could be a doctor or a lawyer.